Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have got a special message for all of you guys out there, which is really, I want to ask you, do you fear your own empowerment? And I know this might sound kind of crazy, particularly if you're somebody watching a video like this, and I know that you are into your personal development, your growth, and you want to be empowered. But I'm really asking you to be honest about whether or not you actually fear your own empowerment. And I want to ask you, ultimately, do you have a fear of loss associated with your growth? Or maybe do you have a fear of gaining too much responsibility if you progress further than where you are right now? And I really wanted to bring this message to you guys because so many of us don't realize that we have these fears that are underpinning and dictating our success and moving forward. And I'm always saying that it is the conscious mind that is the goal setter. We say what we want. We say we want to feel empowered. We want to progress. We want to reach this goal. And we say that all consciously, but ultimately it is the subconscious mind that is the goal getter. And if you don't have alignment between the conscious and the subconscious is always going to win. And the subconscious is where our fears reside. And when we don't bring consciousness to the subconscious, to those fears that are underpinning our success or our results, then ultimately we feel like we're saying one thing, but we're achieving a totally different thing. And that's why I want this message for you guys today to inspire you to be more courageous in looking at what's really driving you. What are those fears? And stay open-minded enough to run this idea through your mind in terms of, am I actually afraid of my own empowerment? And a lot of us, like most of us, we fear our own empowerment because it represents changes in our lives that would actually remove us from the comfort and the warmth of those people around us whom we've kind of created these relationships where they kind of love us for that disempowered part of us, that weaker part of us, that thing about us that makes them feel needed or necessary in our lives, or maybe that we can relate to from a kind of victimized kind of mentality. And I know personally in my life, when I began my journey to self-empowerment and starting to back myself and believe in myself, that's when I lost all of my good time party friends. I lost everybody in my life at that point because we no longer were on the same page. They were kind of, I don't want to say they were threatened because I don't think that anybody's journey is better than another's or anything like that, but it was just, we were just shifted from the same page, and I finally stepped into some of my own power and having a voice more, and that kind of just didn't rub people the right way, or I no longer wanted to go out and party and spend my money on drinking or going to clubs and stuff like that. I actually wanted to invest that into my own self-development, going to this event or go travel over there and go and have this other experience that didn't involve like the night scene and the party life. And I kind of wanted to keep some of my brain cells, it felt like to me at that point, and I was becoming more conscious of my health and not abusing my body. And so all of these different things, when I started that journey of self-empowerment, I lost the comfort of the people that I'd associated with. And so I did have to experience that. But so many of us are so limiting ourselves because we're so scared of that happening. And it may well happen. You could have the same experience as me where I lost every single person at that point in my life, except I think one or two who actually, were into their health and stuff. So they kind of came onto this different journey with me. But ultimately, that may very well happen, or you may actually inspire those around you to come on that journey with you as well. But either way, when you start a journey of empowerment, you are empowered. You have an innate inner strength that is waiting for you to access it, that will allow you to cope and deal and handle all of those inevitabilities that you're so fearful of right now, once you take that step, you will have the courage, the certainty, and the strength to be able to cope with it and deal with it and handle it and actually progress further and become stronger because of it. And ultimately, another reason why we tend to, fear our own empowerment is because we fear that with that new empowerment, we'll have to, we will no longer be able to kind of claim that we're not responsible for our actions and our results in our life. We'll have to take responsibility, and that's a scary thought for a lot of us. Taking responsibility is a really scary thought to the person who's very used to handballing that responsibility and kind of getting into that mindset of kind of bitching and moaning about the people in their lives that are victimizing them or keeping them limited. Your boss or that friend or that parent or your partner or your kids or whatever it is. We so easily handball that responsibility to those around us and want to blame others. And so if we get empowered, we kind of fear that we're going to have to take on that responsibility. But you know what? Taking on the responsibility for one's own life no longer becomes a scary thought when you start believing and realizing the potential that you have within you, and ultimately you refuse to sell yourself short. That, taking responsibility of your own life becomes so empowering and such a necessity that you couldn't see it any other way when you believe in your potential and you refuse to sell yourself short. So I'm really hoping that today's message is kind of waking you up to maybe the areas in your life where you're fearful of your own empowerment because you feel like you're going to lose the people around you. And let me remind you, I went through all of that, and you know what happened? I started attracting the most incredible people who started loving me for who I really am. Instead of me kind of being the fun person, the party person, the networker, getting everybody together to have an amazing weekend or something, and people, wanting to be my friend for that reason, that I started losing those friends because I was shifting what I wanted to actually do with my time. And yeah, it was scary. But I started attracting like minds who I could have depth of connection with, amazing conversations with. I get to, be all of who I am without holding back or limiting myself with the new quality of people that I've attracted into my life and continue to do so because I'm not afraid of my own empowerment, and therefore I attract people who aren't afraid of my empowerment either. In fact, they encourage my empowerment and I theirs, and we get to be all of who we are together instead of staying stuck with people who are threatened by your empowerment, because you're threatened by your empowerment because you don't want things to change and you don't want to lose the comfortability of having the same people in your life. And ultimately, I'm hoping also that it wakes you up to where in your life you've been handballing the responsibility of your actions and your results. And it's because you're not believing in the realization of your potential and you're selling yourself short. Because as soon as you realize that, you can't wait to take responsibility for every aspect in your life, because you know that you have the potential to be accessed and you refuse to ever sell yourself short. Life is too short to be doing that. And so that's why you tap into it, take responsibility, and you no longer fear your own empowerment. In fact, you fear your own disempowerment, and that is what motivates you towards higher levels of your strength, empowerment, growth, progression, all of the extraordinary stuff in this world. So, hoping that this is resonating with each and every one of you guys out there. Let me know. I'd love to hear your experience of this. I'd love to know if today's message is of value to you. Let me know. And any questions, comments, feedback, drop it all below. I want to engage with you right here, right now. And I want to remind each and every one of you guys out there that if you have not already, what are you waiting for? You have to come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. We are waiting for you to come and be a part of an extraordinary quality of environment that nurtures, challenges you towards that next level of your limitless potential, and amazing people, particularly if you're going through a transition of wanting to up level what you do in your life. Maybe you're fearing losing the people in your life, and you want to be surrounded by some incredible people who are in alignment with the truth of who you are, with the highest version of who you are. Then come on over and join us. And I'm going to come in and check in on you guys now, see who's been able to join me. I have got Stephen and Hassani and Brittany and Innocent and Tim and Maggie and Aaron and Bobby and Jabs and Corey and Brian. Oh, you're amazing. Thanks for being here. And Navnet and Anthony. Awesome that you're tuning in. And Amy's here. And Bobby, I don't mind and I empower all women. Absolutely love it. And Navnet, oh, you're not audible. Okay, I hope you guys could hear me. Jeremy's here and Brittany. Yes, I do. I just quit my serving job today to pursue real estate full time. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, okay, so I love that you are backing yourself in terms of reaching a new level of your potential there, Brittany, and keep backing yourself and don't give in. Keep empowering yourself and not being afraid of, your empowerment for what you might lose or all the responsibility that you might gain. As soon as you step into moving in the direction of empowering yourself, you get the tools that will allow you to deal and cope with the loss and with the extra responsibility, and you actually welcome it because you know it's going to continue to empower you, and you're going to feel stronger and move and shift away from those fears. So I love that, and thank you so much for sharing your experience here, Brittany. And Aaron's here, and Corey, a fear of success is real. Yeah, I know, but a fear of success is you as who you are right now without stepping forth courageously towards that next level of success. You who you are right now doesn't have the tools that you will gain once you take that step in the direction of that next level of your success. You've got to trust that when you step forth with courage in the direction of what matters most to you, you will be given the inner strength exactly as you require it to be able to deal with that next level of success. And ultimately what you're fearing is who you are right now, not being able to handle new levels of responsibility and all that comes with that new level of success. So I hope that how I explain that is resonating, and I hope it empowers you to take that step despite your fears there, Corey. And you are so appreciated. And I've got Rian and Muritesh and Abnusek, I think I said it right, and Manu and Jan and Hassani. I have a fear of being overwhelmed if I progress too far in my business. I think this does hinder me somewhat on a subconscious level. Absolutely, Hassani, and I know that you watched my video on busting through your limiting beliefs. I think I did that one. I'm pretty sure I remember you commenting on that. And this is where we need to get access to our subconscious through asking ourselves, why do we want it? And then asking ourselves, why don't we want it? And then doing the turnarounds on all of the reasons and the fears and those limiting beliefs that come up from the subconscious that we're unaware of, and doing the turnarounds, becoming our own coach, bringing consciousness to the subconscious. And definitely, again, Hassani, what I just mentioned about the fear of success to Corey is the exact same of that being overwhelmed by your progress in your business. You as you are right now, you do not have the inner strength and the tools. But if you step forth with courage in the direction of that new level of progress and success, then ultimately you will be given the inner strength. But you have to take the action to gain the inner strength required for you to be able to move past that. And and that is what keeps us stuck, because we think of ourselves as who we are right now in the future once we have that new level of progress. But you can't get that new level of progress until you step forth and grow with courage, which will give you the internal strength that you need. And you've just got to trust, have faith, and back yourself. So hope that was helpful, Hassani. Thank you so much. You're always appreciated. And I've got Gabrielle and Jason. Awesome to see you. And Andrew and Ali and Yusuf and Sharat and Is. I have some questions. Yes, sure. Send them through. And Anton's here. And Brittany, when was that? let me know because I'm just like checking with the questions now. What were you asking about? When was that? So let me know and I will be happy to answer that for you. Dean's here and Peter and Roxana. What is the best way to work on your subconscious mind? Yeah, there's so many different ways. I really personally just like the process of what I just explained to you guys earlier. I did a Facebook Live on this probably, I don't know, it might have been 3 weeks ago or something. But ultimately, there's a process of busting through your limiting beliefs that I use. If any of you guys want me to talk in deeper to that, I might even just I think I did a Facebook Live, but I'll have to track it down. If I didn't, I will definitely shoot one for you. If I did, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to go through my archives and find it for you. And if I did, I'm going to link it up to this video here, and it's all about busting through your limiting beliefs. It's about identifying what your goal is, identifying all the reasons why you want to achieve that result, and then you access your subconscious. And this is all by putting pen to paper. You know, it's scientifically proven that we can access the emotional part of our brain when we put pen to paper rather than typing or texting, and ultimately that's how we get into the subconscious, and we ask ourselves to access all of the reasons why we don't want to achieve the result that we've been consciously saying that we do want to achieve. And ultimately that's how we bring up all this stuff in the subconscious. And you may think on first question, you know, asking yourself, why don't I want to? Well, of course I do. It's the goal. I'm so inspired. I've just written all these reasons why I do want to achieve it. But ultimately, if you sit and ponder this question and give yourself some real time, you will uncover everything that's going on underneath that's ultimately dictating your results. And so it comes, I like this process of tapping into the subconscious through questioning and through being distraction free and asking yourself the kind of question like, why don't I really want to achieve this result? And you will really drum up all of these reasons, do a minimum of 10. You'll find that it's probably on the 10th that you actually tap into something really deep and very limiting that is so empowering when we can face it. So hope that was helpful for you, Roxana. Thanks for being here, and Rashed's here, and Brittany, thank you for being you. I needed this today. Oh, you are so welcome, and thank you for being you, Brittany, and for showing up. You are absolutely appreciated. And Zach's here, and much love to you, Inoxent, and Chris is here. Awesome. And Thomas and Aaron and Mahindapal and Yusuf, thank you for inspiring me all this time. You're so welcome, Yusuf. I'm so grateful that you're finding value in these messages. Thank you so much for letting me know. And good morning to you, Mahinda Pal, and thank you for your kind words. And Ram's here, I love it. And Diallo and Joshua and Fan, love this talk. Taking accountability for yourself builds confidence. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And Chris, we have to give certain things up to gain others. Yeah, so what's that saying? I love it. It's you can have anything, but you can't have everything, and that helps us be selective, you know. So you've got to be clear on, you know, what your values are, what matters most to you, so that you have a great filtering process to know what direction to take. Because like I just said, you can have anything, but you can't have everything. And I think that's very much in alignment with what you just said there, Chris. Absolutely. And Lakers here, and Jolene and Rio and Humayan and Christelle and Ram. We best empower others when we empower ourselves. Absolutely. Be a leader. Show others what is possible. That is absolutely a beautiful way of empowering others. And I appreciate you, Ram. And Deanne's here, and Christelle, namaste to you. And Brittany, yes, can you tell us your work experience and how it affected it when you chose that? My work experience and how it affected me when I chose that. So I'm guessing that, I'm not really sure exactly what you're talking about. So talking about empowerment, I shared with you guys, you know, when I started that journey on my own self-empowerment journey, that was about 5 or 6 years ago, and I actually got introduced to the realm of self-development that I never knew existed. My partner at the time took me to a Tony Robbins event, UPW. A few months later after that, that's when I was first introduced to that whole idea of self-empowerment, really. And then a couple of months after that, I went to Date with Destiny, one of his other programs. That's where everything shifted for me, and that's how I got into what I do right now. But ultimately, I started with empowering people in relationship, predominantly because I saw so many people who were around me who were so, just in terrible relationships, just where your intimate relationship has such power to either build you up or bring you really far down. And I was seeing so many people around me just struggling with the area of relationship. And I was learning so many incredible, simple tools about how we can all break through of that and really go the depths of love and connection. And that's where I started on this journey. And I lost all those friends around me because I had gathered friends who just wanted to go out and party like me at that time. I had no idea. I was so lost in my own life that I needed distraction after distraction. And for me, that came in the form of going out several nights a week, partying, and just having fun and distracting myself from everything in my life because I didn't know what direction I was going. I had no idea, and that's where my self-discovery and self-empowerment journey shifted all of that for me and got me on track, which was a different track to all of the people I was surrounded by. And so I hope that answered your question there. Brittany, thank you so much for asking. And David's here, and Lidju, and Chris. It's an amazing group, it really is. Yes, I love having you part of the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. You are a superstar, Chris. Thank you so much. And Scott's here, I love it. And Jason, excellent stuff, very inspiring. I'm so grateful that you're finding inspiration here, Jason. And Richard, I fear more the lack of empowerment. Not everyone has the privilege of having freedom to be who they want to be and do what they want to do. Yeah, and I would say about that, Richard, that we limit our own selves, so I wouldn't say that any external force, some of us have to deal with, more challenging external forces that can keep us limited from stepping fully into the truth of who we really are and doing what we really want to do. But I would definitely say that we all have the ability to tap into that. And I love, Richard, that you more so fear lack of empowerment, and so that obviously gives you more juice to step in the direction of empowering yourself, taking more responsibility and not being fearful of the losses that, in terms of relationship that you may have to leave behind on that journey. That's very empowering, and I absolutely love you sharing your thoughts here, Richard. And Brittany, you're so welcome. Michael's here, and Aaron, and Chris. Fear of unacceptance of the unknown. Fear is unacceptance of the unknown. Yeah, and it's like a negative projection. I like to say that fear is a projection of pain in our future. So we believe that we're going to experience some form of pain in our future, and that really is what fear is as well. So I love that definition, Chris. Thanks so much for sharing. And Ram, self-belief is the key ingredient to self-empowerment. Absolutely. And sometimes we just need to have that tiny little bit of self-belief to move in the direction of our self-empowerment so that we gain more and more momentum. And I'm a big believer in one of the greatest gifts that we can give to another is actually believing in them when they're not believing in themselves, to start that momentum towards their empowerment. So absolutely, and love you sharing here, Ram. And Sammy's here, and Filippo, and Ekem, and good morning to you, Aaron, and Hassani. Yes, I do need to do that. Thank you for the reminder, and I can see that the actions will give me the strength and experience I need. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. I love that resonated with you, Hassani. I can sense the empowerment already. I love it. And David's here, and Bikash and Miriam and Hassani. I am doing that today. Love it, Hassani. And David, and yes, Brittany, like my path. I hope I answered that question. Mario's here. Hi, Vanessa. I always love hearing your messages. Your words resonate with me so much. I love it. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love hearing that, Mario. Thank you so much for letting me know. You guys are the reason why I do what I do, so I really appreciate you letting me know if anything is valuable or how I could be adding more value to you guys. I always appreciate your feedback. So thank you so much, Mario. You rock my world. I love it. And Fazia's here, and awesome, Lindsay. Thank you so much. And Clinton's here, and Aditya, and Ram. Your self-empowerment journey is so very inspiring and example to many. Oh, helping them build constructive lives. Oh, thank you so much, Ram. That's absolutely touched my heart. You have a tendency of doing that, so I so appreciate you, Ram. And Hasani, fear is a projection of pain in our future. I like that, V. I love that you quote me on that. And Safan's here, and Aditya, thank you for your kind words. So guys, that really, Christelle, why am I so up and down in my emotions? Yeah, great question, Christelle. I think that, when we do experience that up and down in our emotions, I think that it's like part of our intuition telling us, hey, like, wake up to me, listen to me. This is not right for you. Something's not adding up for you. Somewhere you're selling yourself short. Listen. So a great strategy that I used personally when I was really uncertain about my emotional experience, and I was having the same kind of experience, like the up and down in emotion. It was because I wasn't clear. I was so focused on the external world that I had zero idea what was actually going on for me internally. And so what I had to do, I actually used journaling again, because for me personally, getting into the external world, because I'm extroverted, I can make sense of it out here. A lot of introverts they have it a lot easier to sort of wander the garden of their mind and sort of, work things out internally. But for any of you extroverts out there like me, I have to get it out into the external world. It's why, I deliver these messages. Sometimes I have zero idea what I'm going to communicate about, but because I can't just figure it out in my mind, I need to speak it out. And for me, I use also writing. And so what I would say to you, Christelle, is anytime you're noticing that you're kind of having that up and down experience, I would ask yourself to get clear on what's going on for you. What am I feeling right now? What emotions are coming up for me right now? So it's all about building self-awareness. So write that out. Ask yourself that question. What emotions am I experiencing right now? Second question, what triggered this? Why am I feeling this way? Did anything trigger me? When did this start? Like getting clarity over what's going on, and then ultimately asking yourself, that's the journey of getting self-awareness around your emotional experience. And then ultimately, how do you want to be feeling, and what do I need to do in order to generate those kind of feelings? And also, checking more in. I'm a big believer in just writing, being that sounding board for yourself and asking yourself, what's going on in my life? What's working? What's not working? Be honest with yourself. Get it out. Build self-awareness. I hope that resonated with you, Christelle. I hope that was helpful. It's all about building self-awareness so that we can ultimately recognize what's going on for us, and also recognizing that all of your emotional experience comes from what you were thinking and believing. So if you are, whatever you're thinking and believing based on what you're focusing on and making things mean, creates your emotional experience. So we need to get clear on what our thoughts are, what we're believing, and we need to start questioning that. An amazing person who I am always referring you guys over to is Byron Katie. Go to thework.com and check out her work. It's a great process, all free resources that you guys can access and tap further into uncovering what you're thinking and believing and creating a more empowering mindset that's going to create an amazing emotional experience for you and build that self-awareness so that you can be in control and empowered around what's going on for you internally. So I hope that resonates with you, Christelle. You've said sometimes I start crying and I don't know why, and sometimes feeling full of confidence. Yeah, like I said, you've got to build that self-awareness around what you're thinking and believing that makes you feel like you want to cry, and also what you're thinking and believing that gives you that, you know, that full of confidence kind of feeling, you know, and then we can start feeling really empowered, knowing that every emotional experience is based on what we're thinking and believing. And when we have that awareness, we can start to build a gap between what thoughts are coming into our mind and what we're choosing to believe. And we can choose to believe something totally empowering that generates that confidence rather than makes us feel like we just want to break down and cry. But also, don't disregard it. Never sugarcoat anything. Face everything for the reality that it is presenting you with. Don't run away from your fears. Question whether what you're doing, what path you're on, what you're experiencing, what relationships you're in, everything. Whether it's, you know, you operating as your best self and your most intentional self or not, and go about making the shifts and changes. Any of you guys who want extra support on this, you guys know that I open up those 15-minute power sessions. I'd love to connect with you. If you need some extra guidance and perspective shift, definitely book in and take advantage of those free sessions that I offer you guys. I hope that was helpful to you, Christelle and Safan. I always love you being here. And Guri, fear about past mistakes, what should I do? Yeah, so I like to think of fear as being future orientated, and anything in our past, you know, past mistakes, it's really coming from a place of regret, of shame, of guilt, all of those sort of negative emotions. And I would also get you to check out the work of Byron Katie for some free resources that will help and guide you on that. But ultimately, it's all about coming back into the present moment, and forgiveness is key to get ourselves out of the past and into the present, because at the end of the day, the past no longer exists. The future doesn't yet exist. All we have is the right here, right now, present moment. So stop wasting your time in that worry, that fear, that guilt, that shame, that regret in the past, and stop trying to, you know, projecting all this fear around the pain that you might experience in your future. You're going to manifest those two experiences into the present moment, and you're going to miss the joy of the moment and the freedom of the moment. So we have to come to a point of self-realization and awareness that we hold that power. I love, what is that saying Tony Robbins says, that the past doesn't have to the past doesn't have to exist. Something about, oh gosh, I'm on the spot now. The past doesn't exist unless you live there. You know, so don't bring the past into your present moment. It doesn't exist anymore. You know, use it to find the lessons. What are the lessons that you need to take with you from those experiences that you're deeming as mistakes? What value have they added? What lessons have they taught you that you can now take into your present moment to determine a positive future for yourself? So look at it that way. Hope that was helpful, Guru and Robin and Chris. Start with the root, then we can branch out. Absolutely love that. I love that saying. It's so awesomely put. And Nesta's here, and Mario. I'm starting to build my own awareness, and it feels empowering. You're so great, Vanessa. Oh, thank you so much, Mario. And I absolutely love that you're on this journey of self-empowerment. It is the best place to be, and I love that you're a part of the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community, and I hope that you're getting all of the support, encouragement, and challenge that you require, Mario, to get to that next level. So impressed with your courage, Mario. Keep going. And Brittany, what do you think about the law of attraction? Yeah, good question. I think that a lot of people get caught up in the law of attraction, and they think that they just have to think about what they want and not really take any action. So that kind of throws me if you have that kind of mentality, like, you know, just expecting like some check to show up in the mail or something. But I do believe that, when we get real clear on what we want to create and manifest in our lives, and we bring focus, attention to that, and we have a trust and a faith that we can do that, then we start operating and taking action with positive expectancy, and also we start to see the opportunities because we're focused on getting to a certain result. And so I that's my version of the law of attraction, looking at it that way, getting really clear. I think it's powerful to get really clear on what we want to attract into our lives, but then ultimately, be taking action, massive action in that direction, and being open to the opportunities that are presenting themselves that will help you in that direction, and also having a trust, a belief, and some certainty and positive expectancy that you can achieve your results. Definitely, that gets you out of your own way. That taps into the subconscious, aligns the subconscious with the conscious, and that's how we can utilize the law of attraction to our advantage. Hope that was helpful to you, Brittany. And Aaron, a question I use is what I believe true? Yeah, absolutely. And that is absolutely what Byron Katie talks into as well. So thank you so much for sharing what you do there, Aaron. And also, another reminder to you guys to go and check out thework.com, Byron Katie. Awesome. And Chester, hey Vanessa, you have such a positive vibe. Love it. I'm so grateful that you are loving the positivity here, Chester. I appreciate you being here. And Nikki, thanks for being here. And Linda and Chester, now is past, present, and future. I have to think about that. I don't think that, I guess, the now becomes the past and was the future, if you want to look at it that way. I love it, Chester. And Christelle, I did the session with you already and it's very useful. It was very short. Thanks, you're a great being. Thank you so much, Christelle. If you want to go deeper than that with me, Christelle, then that's when my coaching is available. So let me know if that's something that you want to go deep in. I go very, very deep with my clients, and I can only work with a handful of people. That's why I open up these 15-minute power sessions, so I can try and help as many people as possible. But because I know not everybody can work with me, and I can't work with everybody. So thank you so much, Christelle, and reach out if you need some extra guidance and support. And Ellen, I'm working hard to keep moving forward. Awesome. I love hearing that, Ellen, and keep going, keep on that path. That is so awesome to hear. And Aaron, the past does not equal the future. Yes, exactly. The past doesn't exist anymore unless you live there. Love it. Yes, absolutely. And that's from Ellen. I love it. And Mario, we should all look into facing our fears. By facing our fears, we start learning so much about ourselves, and we could start loving our own imperfections. So beautifully put, Mario. I completely resonate and agree with you there. And Brittany, I'm loving that you're loving it. And Guru, what is the root of fear? Yeah, so my belief around fear, the deepest fear that we all have, as human beings, this is driving every single surface level fear, is ultimately the fear of not being good enough. And if we're not good enough, we won't be lovable. That is the root of all fear. Every single fear that you can imagine under the sun is driven by the fear of not being good enough, and therefore you won't be lovable. And, being loved as a human being is kind of like the difference between life and death. If we're not loved as a baby, we die. We can't fend for ourselves, and it's what is at the core of all of our fears. So I hope that resonated with you there, Guru. Thank you for the question. Ram's here. Your sessions are a great catalyst in empowering so many. Oh, Ram, you're such a beautiful human being. I so appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. Lovely. And Chris, negative uncertainty may be the root of fear. Yeah, I mean, but it's always, I really do believe that it's always stemming from our fear of not being lovable, because that's like life or death, and that's why so many of us, we're not good enough, but ultimately even below not being good enough is because we won't be lovable. So I love that, Chris. Thank you for sharing. And Linda's here, and Chris, accepting the unknown makes life an adventure. Yes, absolutely. And I'm always saying I've got this belief that I've instilled within myself that is I thrive in the uncertainty. And you know, it's in the uncertainty, in the unknown, that we access new opportunities for growth, new potential, new experiences, new depths. All of the great stuff. So when you can have a belief that, you know, you will thrive in the uncertainty, you know, that the unknown is an adventure, like you're saying there, Chris, that is such an empowering belief to have in order to grow and really progress in your empowerment. So I love that, Chris. Chester, so what you do now matters the most. Yes, absolutely. And Gally, Vanessa, do you have a book? I don't, but I love when you guys ask me that question, because I would absolutely love to write a book. So you inspire me when you ask me that. Thanks, Gally. And Christelle, I wish I could, dear, but now running out of money. Okay, well, let me know. I always want to be helpful in any way that I can. So Christelle, reach out to me via email or something, and I'll see how I can support you. And Guru, but mind is start analyzing instead of accepting. Yeah, so we have to outrun our thinking mind by trusting within our internal wisdom. I'm always saying to you guys that our confusion is our overthinking mind trying to outbattle our internal wisdom. And when we can get to that place of just knowing that, having language for that, taking a deep breath, accepting, creating stillness, tapping into the internal wisdom, we can get out of that over-analyzing that keeps us in the state of confusion and disempowerment, and ultimately access higher levels of empowerment there, Guru. Thank you so much for your comment. And Ulas is here, and Alan, thanks for being here, and Ram. Empowerment is in the very moment at hand. The decisions we make each moment shape our lives. Self-empowered decisions auto-stimulate us into taking action. I love how you word things, Ram, and I always appreciate you being here. Thank you for sharing your words of wisdom. And Roxana, hey Vanessa, thank you for your recommending Byron Katie's book, A Mind at Home with Itself. Absolutely loving it. Oh, I love that you got it and that you are diving deep into it. I love it too. It's an amazing book. I love that it challenges our belief systems, our ways of thinking that totally shift us into empowerment. So thank you so much for letting me know, Roxana. And absolutely, possibilities are everything and endless when you have an empowered mindset there, Chris. And Safan, loving that this is resonating. And Michael's here, and Hassani. Thinking more about fear. Hang on, just open that up. I think when we accept that we will always have fears, we stop trying to get the right perspective and getting control over them. But like you said, fears are projections that we're creating in our minds. So we do still need to get greater awareness and frame them in a way so that they don't hold us back. Doing your exercise today is really going to help me with this. Sorry about the book I just wrote, but I just had to get it all out. No, I love your book there, Hassani. And absolutely, you know, I love that you're getting that. And yeah, it is so empowering to know that we will never be free from fear. Fear is an inevitable part of the human experience, but we can build our awareness around what triggers it, what's going on, and we don't have to buy into it and allow it to dictate our results and our experience in life. I love that, Hassani, and let me know how you go with your exercises today. That's awesome. And Ram, I am sure you will soon write a bestseller book. I booked the first copy autographed by you. Oh, you're the best, Ram. I really want to do it. So you guys are absolutely inspiring me. Thank you so much. And Gali, we want to invite you to Israel for a lecture. Invite me, Gali. I will be there. I love traveling. I love getting to connect with you incredible people across the globe. So if you set out the invitation, I might just take you up on it. I so appreciate you, Gali. And Anthony's here, and Christelle. Much love to you, you beautiful human being in my favorite city in the world, Paris. I love that place. And thank you so much, Christelle. Guys, that was my message for you. I really hope that it has been empowering for you, and it's going to get you out of the fear of your own empowerment, knowing that you as you are right here, right now, okay, maybe it is scary thinking about what the people that you might lose in your life, or the responsibilities that you might have to take on with a new level of empowerment. But trust that when you step forth and move in the direction of a new level of your empowerment with courage, you gain access to the internal strength that you will need to be able to deal with everything that you're so fearful of right now. Just have trust, have faith, take the action despite your fears. You will thank me on the other side. So with all of that, I am sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I'm sending you all of my love. I'm hoping that you're having the most brilliant day or night, and I thank you so much for spending your most valuable resource with me today, your time. It's been such a pleasure to get to engage with each and every one of you guys. You guys rock my world. You light up my world. You guys know that. You guys know how much I appreciate each and every one of you amazing human beings. And if you haven't already, come on over and join the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. We are waiting for you, and I will see you guys tomorrow.